Hello! In today's video I'm out in the town that I live in for a day of street photography. I of course love to go to the bustling big cities like London for street photography, but recently I've been really enjoying documenting where I live. It's more challenging but also extremely rewarding when you do get some shots that you really like. I'll be talking you through the scenes I find, what my thought process is, and how I go about doing street photography in a smaller place. Firstly, it really helps when it's a warm, sunny Saturday with more people out and about. I'm just warming up here, trying to take advantage of the busyness to capture a more full frame. That's something I've been really interested in recently, and I'll talk more about in a bit. While including a lot of subjects in a photo, I'm always looking for balance, so I try not to overlap people but have them evenly spread throughout the frame.
Hello mate. Not bad, how are you?
Good, you going around taking pictures
Yeah,
of
trying
things?
to do on YouTube.
Oh.
I noticed this lady carrying a sunflower. It's a lovely bright shape and I'm thinking that it will also add a bit of a pop of colour and visual interest to the scene. I find the composition of this photo really pleasing. I like the look of the boy and the flower adds a little bit of colour to the scene. This is a cute little moment. Nothing remarkable, but I'm always looking to try and find a moment that says a small something about humanity in some way. I like how she puts her hand up to her hat to stop it from blowing off, so I hurry up to try and catch the shot. Usually photos of people from behind I find quite boring, to be honest, but I quite like these images as there's sort of an addition to the story with her hand on her hat and the single flower that she's carrying. So recently I've really gotten into Alex Webb's work. I just love his complex, layered scenes, so I've tried to incorporate that more into my work lately. Obviously that approach is pretty hard to do in a quieter town, but I do see some potential in the scene here. For me, when trying to capture a busy, chaotic frame, it's all about working the scene and building up a composition idea in my head before I take the shot. Then when the right moment comes along, I dance into the right place to get the composition I want. So these are sort of just images feeling out the scene and trying to work towards a more filled frame and a more complex composition. I've noticed the lady drawing chalk on the floor first and the bubble machine, which has the potential for people to notice and then interact with. I quite like these photos, but really I'm waiting for more people to enter the frame to make the photo more interesting and more complex. I'm thinking to myself about how I can place people in the background, midground and foreground to show the depth of the scene and provide more visual interest. That's when this family rocks up and gives me the subjects that I needed. It's a little bit of luck and a little bit of patience, as well as moving my body at the right time to try and get the right composition for me. Finally I get the shot I was looking for with this mum's arm in the foreground, something interesting happening in the midground with the movement and shapes and colours, and then the background with the lady drawing the chalk and the shop front. Subjects are all well placed and balanced and I think it's a decent photo. One that I'm really happy with anyway on a high street that's usually pretty quiet. The other thing that really helps when photographing in a place that isn't a big city is some kind of event going on, and today it was the monthly vintage market, which is great opportunities for fun shots, and it's also a place where people are congregating, which obviously leads to more photographic opportunities. On the flip side of that, markets are challenging because we've all seen market photos before, so in the back of my mind I'm constantly thinking, what can I capture that's a little unusual or weird or emotive that will stand out from the sort of usual market photos we see. You can tell me if you think I've been successful here or not. I was a little bit slow on the uptake here. I noticed this moment of this guy playing with his partner's hair and it was really lovely, but I was just a little bit too slow and messed up the shot really. But that's street photography for you. Another thing I like to do is hang around and fish a little bit, because there's not really much variety of places to go and see in the town that I live. So when I see there's potential somewhere, I wait around and see what happens. With this approach, people might notice you doing that for a little bit, but then they usually forget that you're there. I liked all these signs here and it was quite busy, so I was hoping someone would just pick one up or knock into them or just do something interesting, which is exactly what happened here, and I was ready with my camera. So back onto the high street now, and not much going on, but I'm always keeping my eye out for bright colours. I love the colour of this lady's clothing and saw the balloon, so I hope to try and capture a nice family scene with a bit of colour, with the shape from the balloon adding to the story and to the composition. Bless him, this kid was really upset, but it meant I got this photo I really like where his hand was reaching out through the gap between the balloons. I'm always mindful in situations like this though that I don't want to be intrusive or catch a family on a bad day, so I've intentionally aimed to capture a shot where you can't see their faces here. I do really like this one. The colours, the moment and composition framed by these two passers-by, it all came together to make a balanced photo with a nice story. When you only have a small area of foot traffic, it's usually quite handy as it means you don't have any indecision as to where you want to go. I just loop around the small town centre area constantly, so here we are back again at the vintage market. I really enjoyed this little series of photos. My favourite is probably when I got in front of them to frame it up so you can just see their arms. I know what you're thinking here with this photo. What a rebel. What can I say? Some of us are just loose cannons and we have to go our own way. I love hats, always love looking for people with good hats, so I noticed this guy and it was quite nice that he stood looking at the painting, which added a little bit to the photo. Back on the high street and we headed down to the fruit and veg stall. I walk past here all the time, but I've never really got a shot that I like, so maybe I'll get one today, I'm not sure, let's wait and see. For me here it's all about the colour. We've all seen fruit and veg markets before, so I'm thinking how can I incorporate people's clothing and the fruit and the colours of the stall to capture some little details of life. Honestly, I just love the colours and shapes of these watermelons, so I stayed here for quite some time. When I do this, I'm conscious I don't want to bruise the scene, or in other words, change what's going on because of my presence. But I found that if you spend some time somewhere like this, people usually notice you, but then just forget you're there and just carry on as normal. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm looking for, so I'm just kind of acting on instinct, trying to find a good moment or composition with people interacting with the stall and picking up watermelons and colours and things like that.
just here.
Oh yeah.
Like, 'cause it's quiet inside here. There's another guy. But it's quite nice in the blue.
Yeah.
Because that was quite.
I was hoping to get like some people two at once or something to make it a little bit more interesting.
There's nothing particularly special here, but again, I just loved the colours. I waited for a few people to walk past just to get some visual notes of the scene really.
Yeah, if I was somewhere like India, like one of the shots was in India.
We decided to head into the park as it was really busy, but it can be quite difficult to get photos in parks really. You don't want to come across as a creep, but at the same time so many fun things happen worth photographing. If you're enjoying this video, hit the like button and drop a comment if you're finding it useful, or if there's things you'd like me to add or change for these point of view style videos. I'm always looking for constructive feedback.
I like that. I quite like that shot.
Here I notice a hen do, and my interest is always piqued by balloons as they make great colourful objects to include in photos. I like the second image best as you can just about make out the lady's face through the balloon. It's important to keep up the energy on a photo walk, folks, so here I'm munching on a pastry. I was having such a fun day, I still had my camera out looking for things and just snapped off this shot of a guy carrying his TV in the street. Nothing particularly special, but a little bit unusual, so it's worth making a photograph of. Back in the market for some of my favourite photos of the day, and stick around until the last photo because it's my favourite street shot I've taken in ages. Here I just like the shapes and textures, but then I notice this lovely moment and I think the abstraction of the plastic sheeting really adds to the mood of the photo. Again, here was a case of really working the scene, this time just looking for a singular photo. I had noticed that from a certain angle the mirror was reflecting a tree perfectly filling its surface, and it's one of my favourites of the day. It's simple but a fun little detail that I noticed. I've also got a few shots of these paintings resting against the wall and phone box. Taken out of context, they're quite nice. So here is why really knowing the area you're shooting in can be so powerful. I've been wanting this photo for months and I knew I'd need to get very lucky and also be in the right place and right time, but also have the idea in my head to line up the shot, if it was actually possible at all. I saw the perfect subject for the scene and sped ahead of them so that I'd be in the location that I wanted when they walked past. And sure enough, I was in luck, and this guy came past carrying 2 bicycle wheels, the exact subject I wanted to go with the sign. So yeah, the moral of the story of this video is just get to know your local area and document it. You never know what you might come across and what you might capture with your camera. I hope you found this video useful. I'm always happy to answer any questions, so let me know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.